We begin this half hour actually with Michael Jackson's doctor. Just days before he was found guilty of involuntary manslaughter in the singer's death, Conrad Murray sat down with Savannah Guthrie for an exclusive interview. She now joins us. Savannah, good morning.
Good morning to you, Ann. And as you know, Conrad Murray decided not to testify at his trial. So this is the first time we see him answering questions about the case. And what was clear right away, to this day, the doctor stands by his actions the day Michael Jackson died. Savannah Guthrie from NBC.
In the waning days of the case, Conrad Murray agreed to an interview with his fate still in the hands of the jury.
Michael Jackson was one of the most beloved entertainers in this country, around the world. What's it like to be blamed for his death?
Well, I love Michael too. I'm as much a fan as any of the others. To be blamed for his death has not been an easy thing.
Dr. Conrad Murray first met Michael Jackson during a house call in Las Vegas in 2006 and saw him off and on from that point forward.
This is it. Let's see you in July.
But when Jackson agreed to a comeback tour in 2009, he wanted his own full-time doctor with him. And the concert promoter agreed to hire Jackson's pick, Dr. Murray, for a salary of $150,000 a month.
Do you now wish you'd never met Michael Jackson?
I would hate to put blame on Michael as an individual. I wouldn't want to show regret that I met Michael. I only wish that maybe in our dealings with each other, he was more forthcoming and honest to tell me things about himself.
You think he lied to you?
Definitely.
About what?
Well, certainly he was deceptive by not sharing with me his whole medical history, doctors he was seeing, treatments that he might have been receiving.
The diazepam, the Flomax, and the lorazepam.
In court, prosecutors laid out dozens of prescription bottles found in Michael Jackson's house in the days after his death, a pharmacopoeia of painkillers, antidepressants, and anti-anxiety medications.
Did you really not know he had an addiction problem?
Absolutely not. Did not have a clue.
But wait a minute, you knew he was seeing other doctors. On the bedside, there are all these prescriptions with other doctors' names on them.
I cannot prevent Michael from seeing another doctor for whatever reason.
When he hired you, you must have realized the main reason he hired you was to give him this drug, propofol.
No, not at all.
But when he hired you full-time, one of the first actions you took was to start buying propofol and sending it to California.
Absolutely, that's not correct. First of all, I met Michael with propofol. This was not something I introduced to Michael.
In fact, Murray was hired full-time in March 2009, and between April and June of that year, prosecutors say he ordered 255 vials of propofol, adding up to more than 4 gallons for Jackson's personal use. For 2 months, Jackson came home late at night from rehearsals, and Dr. Murray's workday began, setting up Michael with an IV in his bedroom, administering propofol to help him sleep.
To you, there's still nothing wrong with giving propofol in a home setting.
I think propofol is not recommended to be given in a home setting, but it is not contraindicated.
Was it wrong for you to give it in the conditions in which you gave it to Michael Jackson?
I look at my condition with Michael, not as about giving it, but trying to find a method to take away something from him that I felt he should not have been using on his own.
Well, why didn't you just walk away?
I should have walked away. But if also I walked away, I would have abandoned a friend.
Dr. Murray claims he was weaning Jackson off the drug.
Why should anyone believe that after 60 days of administering propofol, that suddenly, in those last few days, you decided to stop giving him propofol? Why should anyone believe that?
Well, I'll tell you what. Well, that happened. 3 days towards his death, he was weaned off, and I was extremely happy because I finally achieved the state I wanted. The state was Michael away from propofol.
Whatever his state that night, at trial, one of the most shocking pieces of evidence showed Michael Jackson in early May under the influence of something.
When people leave my show, I want to say, I've never seen Nothing like this in my life. Go. Go.
The slurred voice of Michael Jackson 6 weeks before his death in a recording police found on Conrad Murray's iPhone.
What was the purpose of recording him in that state?
It was incidentally recorded.
You mean an accident?
Yeah, it was an accident.
When did you find out it had been recorded?
In court.
During the opening statements?
Mm-hmm.
God wants me to do it. God wants me to do it. I'm gonna do it, Conrad. I know you would.
I asked him a question. Are you okay? I heard me saying that to Michael. And then he says, yes. And then the next thing I heard is that he says, I'm asleep.
Was he on propofol?
He was.
Though he desperately wanted that comeback, Michael Jackson's days were numbered, and Dr. Murray was the last person ever to see Michael Jackson alive.
How much pressure did you feel to get him to sleep?
Oh, tremendous, tremendous. It was nothing that I had ever encountered.
You were the last person to see him or talk to him before he died. What was he like in those final hours?
A desperate man. Desperate.
Are you the cause of Michael Jackson's death?
No, I'm not.
Do you remember his final words before he died?
It was probably, I don't know, it was probably when he was pleading and begging me to please let him have some milk, because that was the only thing that would work.
Well, tomorrow, Dr. Murray answers the key questions in the case. Why didn't he call 911 right away? Why didn't he tell paramedics that he had given Michael Jackson propofol? And significantly, how long was he really out of the room on that crucial morning that Michael Jackson died? We're going to have those answers tomorrow on Today.
All right, Savannah, thank you so much this morning. And now let's get a check of the weather from Al.